Welcome back. What a game we have just witnessed. Well, quite frankly, some people may have never heard or seen a game like that before, and if that doesn't whet your appetite, I'm not really sure what will. But here are the facts. Luke Littler has topped the Premier League phase. That is now secure. He will not be overtaken, and he will be taking on the person who finishes 4th in this Premier League at the playoffs in 2 weeks in London. So that is guaranteed. What he's also just done is put in the 11th best ever average in Premier League history. Just a shade under 116, 115.96 if you want to be exact. But a small matter of 9 180s in that game from Luke Humphries and losing. Yes, that's ridiculous. That is not the norm. It's quite simply ridiculous from Littler that he put in that huge number, 6 out of 8 on the doubles for 75%. But you have dug a little bit deeper, Chris Mason, as to how good the burst was from Littler.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, myself and you and Dan, and both players are actually very, very, well, they're elite at it, as is Peter Wright when he was in his absolute pomp. He could string these phases together. But from being 3 run down, he reeled 5 legs off on the spin. You've just done the math, Nico, and it's 123.1 across those 5 legs. That was his average in that spell.
Yeah, it's quite good. And we come from a generation where if you competed 3 legs in 50 darts, you were playing pretty well. He's just completed 4 legs in 50 darts. That's a different level.
Yeah, it is quite remarkable. A 12 darter with a 174 in there and a 127 checkout. Then another 12. Then another 12 with a 180 and a 144 out. Then a pretty ordinary 14. A 180 and a 171 and wrapped up with an 11. I mean, that's how you close a game out, isn't it? He's just... These guys, when they're absolutely on it, and listen, to get a game like that, you need a dance partner, and they're perfect for each other on the hockey. The pace they play at, the manner in which the game's played at, there's no argy-bargy. It's just absolutely brilliant. There was a moment in there as well that Humphries just missed the 170, and just for giggles and housery, what does Littler do? Step up and hits 170 just to show him how it's done.
This is what they do against each other. What in God's green earth can they do when they're playing with each other in pairs? It could be a case of, well, no one's going to beat England at the World Cup because these two are head and shoulders above anybody on planet darts. If they click, they will win that tournament. And Littler hasn't won the Premier League. He hasn't defended that title because he's got to get to the playoffs. That is accomplished. He has won the league phase and has created a new venue record at Aberdeen for the 2nd consecutive year. Last year it was 110.1. This year he's taken it up another 6%. Who knows what he could do at Aberdeen in 2026, because he will be here. But now we have to turn our attention to something else. As much as we'd like to talk more about the Luke Derby, now we've got to talk about a Northwest Derby of Liverpool versus Manchester United of sorts, because Aspinall will now take on Stephen Bunting in the first semi-final of the night. Yeah,
if you are joining us for the first time on YouTube, welcome along, or welcome back if you've been with us this evening. So far, Aspinall in our first game got the better of it was a decent game, wasn't it? Both average over 97. It just doesn't seem that good after what we just watched. And then Bunty got the better of a disappointing Gerwyn Price, who in consolation gave us a 9 darter this evening, so that's another £30,000 set of gold darts for him. I suppose that softened the blow. Dobey got the better of Rob Cross, so they changed places, as did Aspinall and MBG. And then we've just seen, a masterclass from both players. Littler beating Humphries 6-3. Don't forget, if you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel enormously. Thank you to all of those who already have subscribed. And if you've got any questions or comments for me, Dan or Nico, put them in the chat, and if they're civil and sensible, we'll answer a few.
Absolutely. Now, I've said for years, Miss, I don't know about you, but there are certain venues in Premier League darts that seem to be better than others. I'm not talking about crowd participation. I'm not talking about the noise on the walk-ons. I'm talking about standard of play. If you look at Aberdeen over the years, look at what it's given us. It's given us a world record average from Michael van Gerwen against Michael Smith. It's given us that game tonight. It's given us 9 darters tonight and in previous campaigns. I'm going to go on record and say that Aberdeen obviously is the best place to play because it gives the best standard.
Yeah, it must be something in the water up there. It's strange, isn't it? If it happens the odd time, you sort of can say it's just one of those things. But yeah, it just keeps delivering. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure whether it's has anything to do with the shape of the venue, because it's quite long, isn't it, this one? That may be a factor in the fact where it's never really moaned about in terms of being breezy there. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's hard to explain, but we'll maybe ask the players who have played in it at Aberdeen for a few years.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Lowest winning average over the last 3 years. To win the final, 99.25. That was Dimitri Vandenberg 2 years ago. Was that really 2 years ago?
Wow.
Incredible. Johnny Clayton, 103.4 when he beat Michael van Gerwen 6-5 in 2022 when this format was just getting going. And last year, Littler with a piddly little 102.38 when he beat Rob Cross 6-4. But tonight, who knows? We've got to figure out who's in the final first. And if Aspinall does take care of Stephen Bunting, he will give himself that little bit of extra confidence going into Sheffield next week, because his job, whatever happens tonight, it is not done. That intensity will have to be brought to go to South Yorkshire next week.
Yeah, but for him, Dan put it beautifully early on, it's in his hands now, isn't it? With Aspinall, this game actually is fairly irrelevant, isn't it? He's got to beat Michael next week and it's job done, and he will be focused on tonight. He'd love to get another win, of course, and pick up the 10,000 bonus. But Bunty, he's a dangerous player, isn't he? Because he's just playing for fun. He's free rolling. He's thinking, well, if I pick up another 10 grand, happy days. If not, it don't really matter. And well, in recent times, in their head-to-heads, it's Bunting that's got the better of Aspinall.
Yeah, 6 games played in the last 2 and a bit years, and Bunting has won 5 of them. So maybe this kind of game suits him. They will know each other very well, and will have done for quite a few years, because that community of darts around Merseyside, the northern Cheshire region and Greater Manchester and Lancashire, it's a very tight-knit community. You play a lot of darts together locally before you even make it to the top level, so they know each other inside and out, and they've spent a lot of time off the hockey together too.
Yeah, and he's had a thumping off of Bunting, hasn't he, in the semi of the Masters last year. And all those things play a factor, especially when it's recently, when we go on about recency bias. Well, anything that's happened in the last year, it's fresh, it's in your memory. And of course, the 2 meetings most recently in the Premier League have both been won by Bunting. And that one win was actually in the Premier League back in March, and it was a 6-2 win. But, well, Bunty, if there was no bad luck, he wouldn't have got any luck at all.
The thing that's really curious coming into this game is a strange twist of fate, really, because this will be the 4th game that Stephen Bunting has played in Aberdeen in the Premier League. It's the first time he's playing someone that isn't a world champion, because the first time he played Adrian Lewis, beat him 7-2, and on the same night in 2015 he drew with Phil Taylor 6-6. Tonight he beat Gerwyn Price 6-4 in a very eventful game, but maybe he's about to be on the cusp of a second weekly win. They both are, because Bunting was very good outside of England this year. He made the final in Rotterdam and won in Berlin. As for Aspinall, he was preferring to be on home soil, winning in Manchester. So who wins this one? John McDonnell will get the 2 English players on the hockey for game number 5 of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome back our players. This is our Aberdeen semi-final number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back the UK Open champion, the winner of the US Dartsman Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the winner of the World Match Play, a Euro Tour winner. Here he is, the Nathan.
Seems a bit of a shame in Aberdeen that we're not going to get any Scottish anthems tonight. No proclaimers, no jumping around for Gary Anderson, no super grand.
Was this the one where John Henderson had his walk-on? Was it this venue?
When John Henderson played as contender, I believe it was at the smaller venue.
It was, yes. But it was still some entrance.
Well, I've said for years that I believe the smaller venue in Aberdeen was louder because they used to cram 3,000 people in that place. And I remember the first time I ever went to Aberdeen was when Gary Anderson played Terry Jenkins, and I thought I was going to lose my hearing. It was mental just how loud it was. But how loud is this as we come to the chorus? Well, there you have it. One more rendition of Mr. Brightside, and now we have to change conductors. Give Stephen Bunting the baton. Wearing very similar shirts. They're both black and red, the same shade of red as well, but it's almost as if there was a cartoon moment just there, and they had cartoon bubbles above their heads as if to say, did you ever envisage that we'd be doing this?
Yeah, when you think about it, I'm sure Bunty did. I knew Stephen when he was a very young man. I remember him winning the BDO Player of the Year award as a youth. And of course went on to do great things within that system before making the switch. Nathan was into his football, wasn't he? And he plays quite a few. Loves playing golf, like yourself. Have you had a round with him?
Not yet, but we have spoken about it. But during Premier League darts, I think darts comes first. There's plenty of time for that.
Maybe Blackpool.
Potentially. We are about to start our first semi-final of the night in Aberdeen on night 15, live on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. I remember a few years ago, it was 2012, I walked into a dart shop in St Helens, Merseyside, walked up the steps to see some people processing orders, and one of them was Stephen Bunting.
Yeah,
and my words to Stephen were, what are you doing in here? Why aren't you out there practicing and earning lots of money? And it just wasn't happening for him. That was only 13 years ago. And now, because of a thriving career where he's averaging over 100 against Nathan Aspinall in this Premier League campaign, he is looking to get to a third final in this campaign.
Yeah, it was around about that time when I first met Nathan. I was living in the West Midlands, and there was like a, I don't know, 500 quid winner knockout there. And Nathan was there, as was Michael Smith. Hasten that, I didn't win it that day.
Who did?
Michael Smith.
Ah, no surprise there. A man who was on the end of that world record average at the time.
Yes. From
MVG in the other arena, which is just down the road. Steady 60 there to start for Aspinall in this first semi-final of the evening. The next one will follow. Only a small matter of Dobey versus Littler. Who knows what he's got up his sleeve for the rest of the night. Bunting starts with 43. And this one, I'm sure, will have a very different feeling for Nathan after that really important win against MVG. He might just feel a little bit lower on the adrenaline count.
Yeah, he may have to something may have to happen to give him that kick he needs. Overall head-to-head, surprising stat this one for me. Bunty leads 8-5.
1-1 in the Premier League this year. Week 5 in Brighton and week 9 in Berlin. Now, that was the night that Stephen Bunting did succeed. Well, our first maximum of this semi-final goes to Aspinall. He has the same sort of focus as his first game tonight, but the intensity is definitely different. You can usually tell by the level of the shoulders.
Yeah. Yes. Finds the treble 20 on the 161. Won't be going for it. Finds another treble 20. Picks off a single 9. Well, we spoke about golf. That was beautifully laid up.
Yeah, that was like a 9-iron to a foot. But you can still miss putts from a foot. That sounds like Dr. Seuss, doesn't it? Well, I'm sure Rory McIlroy will not want to be missing putts at Quail Hollow this weekend. Double 16 for Nathan Aspinall for a 1-0 lead. He's got plenty of time on his side because Bunting's back on 240 and he doesn't wait. Second dart, takes the double 16 and starts with a 14-darter.
Yes, very nice opening hold for Nathan. 180 in the leg as well, so clean finishing. Nice approach play. All in all, plenty to keep him positive.
You know what? Teams in red have done really well during the playoffs recently. Sunderland have done well. Very hard for me to say that. Leyton Orient winning on penalties last night. Well done to Orient. I'm sure everybody at Matchroom Sport's going to be happy about that. Most of them are Leyton Orient supporters.
I think Matt Porter's still on the board though, isn't he?
They've got a trip to Wembley coming up. There's all smiles on the stage, but Stephen Bunting has just scored 7. 2 treble 1s and a 1.
He got a smile out of Nathan, didn't he?
Well, it is a good thing for Aspinall because he's only got 7 to beat. If it was beat the score, he's just won with 41.
Well, we had that incredible spell, didn't we? Wherever the Premier League was, it was the winners of their respective football leagues. I don't think we say that about Aberdeen, though, can we?
Yeah, I don't think we should go down that route. One of the things we shouldn't talk about is Scottish football. Now, that's a little bit better from Bunting. He's still gesticulating that there is a little bit of a draft. And if that's the case tonight, Chris Dobey's going to win. Because there was a draft in Rotterdam and he didn't get bothered by it whatsoever. 96 from Aspinall leaves 224. 40 points ahead of Bunting here on the throw, but at 1-0 down. Throwing that first shot very, very hard. Trying to compensate for what he can feel. Only 58 and he's on 206.
Well, he does have I know he uses a light dart by comparison, but he does have a very aggressive throw, so they won't be as affected.
If he wants to see if there's a draft, just pick out a few bits of the carpet and throw them in the air like they do in the golf.
Yeah.
Just try and gauge the wind. All right, I'll take the slightly heavier dart.
He can't move any further right, though, can he?
He could try, but then he'd be throwing over Hugh Ware's shoulders, which probably isn't the right thing to do. We haven't had a 170 finish tonight, but we could have one right here from someone who has had plenty of them in his career. At the European Darts Trophy that he won in Göttingen this year, he had an absolutely unbelievable 170 against the Flying Scotsman. Can he get another one? Dart 1 in, Dart 2 question mark. It's not there, so Bunting will get a shot at 66.
Yeah, it was awkward. He had to move left, didn't he? And that changes all of the dynamics of the dart. 66 for Bunty. Goes the ball.
Single 9 leaves double 16. He's just left the target. He does not look happy at all. The mild-mannered man from Merseyside. Aspinall on 65 for a 2-0 lead. His first break of throw is imminent. If he's accurate here, he's got a small 11 just outside the 25 on the left-hand side, but 14 is found. He steps back, he looks at tops, and he hits it right in the heart for a 2-0 lead.
Well, it's only an 18 darter. It'll be more frustrating for Stephen Bunting, who had 18 darts himself in the leg and couldn't get it one.
If you think Stephen Bunting doesn't have motivation coming into this game, think again. He wants to win the night. That's why these bonuses were created. For nights like this, if you can't qualify for the O2, there's still something to shoot for. On top of that, after winning his first game tonight, he was knocking on the door of Chris Dobey in 7th position. He had to watch Chris win earlier on against Cross. So if Bunting does not win tonight, he's going to be 8th going to Sheffield. Simple as that.
Yeah, and of course the motivation is he can climb the table, therefore earn more money because of it's position based, isn't it, all the way through?
Yeah, more money to invest either in his career or his son's career, because he started playing junior darts recently. Aspinall 2-2-1 crushed. Maximum leaves 41, and he's in the same sort of position he was in against Michael van Gerwen earlier tonight.
I'm doing some youth darts tomorrow night, JDC Power League. Looking forward to that.
Power League. Power League. Like it.
It's very good. Have a look on YouTube. The darts are ridiculous. Put it this way, I'm glad I'm commentating on it and not playing in it.
Double 16 for an 11 darter for Aspinall. Just left of target. There's a little scooch to his right by maybe 2 inches. Wasn't enough. He drags it left. He's still on 32, but again, just like leg one, he has the benefit of a second visit. He didn't need it in leg one. This time he does. Stephen with a 140 to leave 70, so pressure's on.
Yeah, some urgency now. What a snarl. Bob Anderson-esque from Aspinall. Wonder if he'll give it the point.
He's missed it just on the inside. It was a very good dart, but not good enough. Similar result on double 8, just right of target, so has to recalibrate for 4s. That's right in there, and there's a little bit of passion all of a sudden from the Asp. And is he fully aware that if he goes on to get more points tonight, he may be able to create a buffer that is so good that it would put too much pressure on Michael van Gerwen for Sheffield?
Yeah, well, he could be in the position where even if he lost to MVG and then MVG lost next round, he would still finish 4th. Both trading 140s at the start of leg 4. Aspinall leads 3-0 in our first semi-final.
Earlier on tonight when you were commentating with Dan Dawson, you were remarking about the Aspinall darts looking very shiny. He's been trying different points throughout this Premier League campaign. These ones, they might as well have been on a lathe. They are shining so brightly.
Yeah, they're very, very thick. They're almost like a continuation of the head of the barrel. And he doesn't, it's quite interesting that they're quite elaborate, these points, but he holds his dart at the back where the stem joins to the barrel.
First person to try points that were anywhere near this thick at the top was Colin Lloyd. And yes. Colin Lloyd played in the Premier League when it first went to Aberdeen in 2006. Sorry to make you feel a little bit older there, Lloydie, but Aspinall's on 86, Bunting on 121, and he needs to take it because he's 3-0 down. He's got a 60. He's got a treble 11. He hasn't got the double 14. He's missed it just on the outside, right on the wire.
Yeah, literally moving the wire. 86 for Aspinall. Just composing himself. Readdresses the hockey. Resets. Treble 18. Not got it. Single 18 the ball. Don't trace the treble now. Ooh. He threw a very safe single 18, almost at the double for the ball. 4-0.
Yes, it's not Pablo from West Ham. It's not 4-0s. It's 4-0. Incredible. That was a beautiful bullseye. Nowhere near the wire. And it makes a different sound when you hit it there.
Well, again, very smart play. Nearly starts the 5th leg with a 3 treble visit. He's revved right up. He missed the treble 18 and he threw almost a safe double. So if it was slightly over pitched, he would have left 32. But the composure shown on the ball, outstanding.
If there's one person that is very, very hard to get rid of in World Darts right now, it is Stephen Bunting. He's got such great composure. Even at 4-0 down, he will still believe he can get out of this. He understands how you do it. You just pick off a leg at a time, and as long as you've got a little bit of time to play with, anything's possible.
Well, I always feel if you can keep them 1 away, well, 2 away, rather than being 1 away, you always feel like you still got a chance.
Yeah, set yourself a target at 4-0 down. If I can get to 5-3, I'll back myself to win the last 3 legs. And Aspinall will know all about this dynamic. There are plenty of times in his career where he's had hot starts and all of a sudden things have got really interesting. 246 Aspinall with that last start treble 18 for Bunting for 94. He leaves 134. Depending on what Aspinall does here, he might even start there with his next visit.
Oh, he's fuming. He found the 60. It was beautifully positioned in the treble 20, and he's just had a loose one. Leaves 160.
Was it going to be 18s for Bunting or the 60? After the treble 20, so 94 will be the perfect score here. That's exactly what he gets. Second dart yielded the treble 20. Single 14 leaves tops. Aspinall had a 140 earlier against MVG. This is a little step up. Same sort of combo. 2 treble 20s will leave tops. He gets the first one. It's right at the top of the bed as well. Next one doesn't nestle underneath it. Just bypasses that first dart. And 140 is his score to leave double 10 just in case Bunting misses tops.
Don't expect him to. 10s. 1 dart left, usually good. Oh, well, he's at 15. He's really just dragged that left.
Now that may be the air out of the Bunting balloon. Aspinall on throw on double 10, misses it wildly left. Hates that dart, has to step back. Recalibrates for double 5, right at the top of the board. He's got a marker just above it. Makes us wait, and it's worth waiting for. It's 5-0 on double 5. And this is dream street for Nathan. He may just be going to the Aberdeen final. Luke Littler is the defending champion in Northern Scotland. Can he be beaten in Aberdeen? The question mark is, who could possibly take him out? Could it be Aspinall? Is Bunting going to win 6 straight legs to give himself a chance? Or can Dobey stop him in the next match?
Well, if he can get it done 6-0, 6-1, 6-2, it's going to leave plenty in the tank for the final because, well, I'm not saying Littler or Dobey could steamroller one another, but it wouldn't be expected. Well, not unless Littler comes out and pops in another 115.96 average, then it's hands up Cadbury's and you just take it on the chin.
Both of their meetings this year, Aspinall and Bunting, have been 6 legs to 2.
140.
It looks like Bunting's going to get off the mark here. He's on 81 after 9. This is a much improved scoring leg, and Aspinall's having a bit of a time out here. Even with that 1-2-5, it doesn't get him to the halfway point of the leg, and Bunting's on double 12 for an 11. This is it low, and he's left himself on 6. I'm not sure how that could have gone any worse.
No, I can't. If he hits a 180 here, he did find the, oh dear, he's not thinking about that. The double 3 is no guarantee, is it? It's horrendous.
Not many people in World Darts like double 3. That's why Stephen's going 2-2-2, and he's just done it. Made it look simple, and he raises his hand in the air as if to say, "Yay! I've just won a leg." Only 5 more to go, Stephen, and then you'll have a chance of more in the final. But that was a simple hold of throw. Aspinall will be looking to get the job done here in leg number 7. Just nods at the board as if to say, right,
you're
back
getting
to work.
Starts with a treble, doesn't follow. Just misses out with dart 3. Steady ton away. Leads 5-1. Bunting. He's in the treble. He follows it though. He still believes.
He is resolute. And he gets himself around with this Premier League roadshow. In fact, on social media this week, some people thought they spotted Stephen Bunting at Ibrox. It wasn't Stephen. Believe us, it wasn't Stephen Bunting. But it did look like him. Now, Aspinall, for the second time in this game, has left 3-4-3. What do you not do after 6? Don't leave a number that doesn't give you the ability to leave a finish next.
Yeah, it's something that Luke Littler has mastered. Something that I've not consciously seen someone make so much effort not to do. After 6, he makes sure it can be done in 6. Hence why he had so many 4-visit legs in his opening match.
266 for Nathan can be done in 6. In fact, it can be done in 5. It's not going to be done in 5 because he's down on the 19s with dart 2 without success. Third dart just nestles over the top of that blocker and leaves him on 208, which is 7 points behind, and Bunting has got a chance of getting a second leg here. He might even get a big approach. 2 treble 20s and a single 19 leaves 62. Some people may have gone bull with the last dart.
Yes, to give you a single to double combination as Aspinall hits his 4th max.
Well, that's treble 18 for double 4 for Bunting to stay in the match. Oh, and he's just hit his own dart on the outside, and it is rejected, leaving Aspinall approaching the Oki to win 6-1. This is for 1 more point in the table to get to 22. With a chance of another 2 in the final. He misses it just left. Shuffles along to the right-hand side and measures it to perfection. He stares at the board like Fraser Crane's dog does at all of his inhabitants. They're having a real debate on the stage. I'm not sure Stephen Bunting was a fan of the conditions there in the semi-final, but Nathan Aspinall does not care. He kept all of his emotions under wraps until right there, and now he knows that he has a crack at a second nightly title. This time it's in Scotland. Nathan wins by 6 legs to 1 and will play either Dobey or Littler in the final race. Yeah,
interesting that, well, although Bunty made a sedate start, he actually ended up with the higher average of the two, 95.63, 94.19 for Aspinall. Yeah, funny old game. He had his chance. He had 10 darts at a double in the match and only found the 1.
Quite simple. Stephen Bunting keeps averaging more than his opponents, and he keeps being defeated. But on this occasion, we will bid adieu to Stephen. He will have his swan song next week in Sheffield. It will not be a second weekly title for him in this campaign, again outside of England. But Nathan Aspinall's hopes of a second title are still very much alive, as he will take part in the Aberdeen final. But when it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the dark web monitor you'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the Madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk free with Nord's 30-day money back guarantee. Dobey against Littler is next. Don't miss that. We're here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel next.